Hello, Raider Nation. Welcome back to the Raider Homer Superfan Hotline. I'm Raider Homer, and joining me today is the Lord Commander of the Silver and Black Empire, Johnny Lauro, and the Mad Dog himself, Carmine Pucci. Thanks for joining me today, fellas.
Good morning. Good morning. It's our pleasure to be here.
Here at the Raider Homer channel, we like to find out who's who in the Raider Nation and find out when and how our guests became Raider fans. So let's start with you, Johnny. When did you become a Raider fan?
Well, when I was 14 years old, I was playing organized football, and after a week of practice, they assigned me to play defensive back. And I went home and talked to my dad about that, and he said, "You got to play like Jack Tatum of the Oakland Raiders." And me being 14 and not knowing anything, I said, "Dad, who's Jack Tatum and the Raiders playing in Los Angeles?" And he said, "Sit down, I'm going to tell you some stories." My dad was a big Raider fan in the 70s, and so he kind of got me into this. And So I learned about Jack Tatum. I read the book They Call Me Assassin. Then I read Snake by Kenny Stabler, and I started really digging this team. And I got to learn about Al Davis, and I kind of like the whole philosophy of taking misfits and has-beens and people that really don't belong anywhere and kind of putting them together. I kind of dig that. So that's how I became a Raider fan.
And how about you, Carmine?
I was watching the game, the infamous Heidi game in 1969, Raiders against the Jets. And back then, there was only like two stations that you saw football in New York. You watched the Giants on Channel 2 and you watched the Jets on Channel 4. I was watching the game, and they mentioned the quarterback's name, the Mad Bomber. I was like, I like that name, and I couldn't stomach Joe Namath. When they said the Mad Bomber, I was like, damn, I like that name. And I've been a Raider fan ever since. So we're talking about 50 years of die-hard Raider football.
So did you two start the Silver and Black Empire?
Well, we just started as the Silver and Black Empire at first. I was working in a bar. I'm a bartender by trade, and I was working in a bar in Manhattan, and we never had any business on Sundays. And I happened to stumble upon a Miami Dolphins bar, and I was like, oh, got to build a bar around a team. I did some research and saw that the Raiders didn't have a bar in New York City. I was like, my team doesn't have a bar. I'm going to build a bar. So I did that. I spent 2 years at that original bar. Then I moved over to Peter Dillon's, where we're still located. And we weren't as organized as we are now. About a year after I was here, Mr. Pucci came in, and we got to talking, and he helped me organize the first invasion against the New York Jets that we had here years ago. And since then, we've actually organized what we've become now. Silver Black Empire, officially sanctioned by the team. We're New York City's official booster club. This is our 8th season of Dillon's, and we anticipate being here for some time to come.
For those that don't know, what are the benefits of being an officially recognized booster club?
Well, first of all, it's the honor of knowing that the Raiders have selected you to be the representatives of the city that you're in. We're really proud to represent the Raiders here in New York City. It's the greatest city in the world, the greatest team, and it's just a point of pride for me. Our name is actually on the Raiders Raiders website under Booster Clubs, and when people look up where to watch the game, they see us first when you do a Google search. So it's just I'm very prideful to know that the Raiders chose us to represent them.
Now, the Raiders are all about giving back to the community. So how does the Silver and Black Empire give back to the community? What are your charity events?
Okay, as far as charity work goes, we go out to Oakland every year for the Bolitnikoff Foundation dinner crab feed in November that Angela Bolitnikoff and Fred, they put together in memory of Fred's daughter that passed about 20 years ago now. We were out there first time like about 5 years ago, and there was only about 16 of us that went. And I saw this on the internet, like, hey guys, come on, let's go. We'll see what it's about. We went to the dinner. We met Fred. We met Angela. We met a bunch of former Raiders from back in the 70s and the 80s. We had a great time. And Johnny and I went back to our room. We were discussing it, and I told him, I said, you know what? We're trying to get our club together as an official club. I said, every club needs a club charity. I said, so let's make the Bolitnikoff Foundation our club charity. And since then, he was like, he goes, you want it? He goes, you run with it, which I have done ever since. We started with 16 people. We're up to about 130 or 140 people are coming with us this year. And it's not only New York. I have about 60 or 80 of my guys from New York coming with us. We also have people like Crusader Raider is bringing about 15 or 20 of his guys from London. Jim Otto's niece, Cindy, she's got about 20 people coming from the state of Washington. I have people, I have people coming from the Washington, D.C. area, from Peggy Holmes's area, her groups, from all over the place. We got guys coming from Salt City up in upper New York, upstate New York, from the Syracuse area. And, it's people from all over the country. They want to come. They know that I do this every year. I block off rooms at the Hilton. I get the tickets from the Raiders. I do what I have to do to make everybody have a good time. It's all about being together, hanging out, having a few beers, going to the dinner. It's for a good cause. Every week we have raffles at the club. Every game we have raffles at the club. We raffle off Raider memorabilia. All the proceeds goes directly to the Biletnikoff Foundation. So that's basically what we do with that.
The Silver and Black Empire blocks off hotels for their events and tailgates, and y'all get y'all's tickets directly from the Raiders. What does it take to get all that lined up?
It just takes a phone call. When we were going out there, I spoke to Fred and I explained to him what we were doing and how many of us were going and whatnot. Fred made a phone call, took care of it for me, and so now all I do is I call up the same person, and the gentleman gives me this year 150 tickets for the game. We always have about 150 tickets blocked off. If we get more people that want to come, I'll ask for more tickets. But right now, I get 150 tickets every year for the game for myself, all of our guys, all the people that are coming from out of state, out of the country, whatever. We have guys coming from England. We have guys coming from Sweden this year, Canada, all the 50 states. So, I do what I can to help everybody out. My thing is I just want to see everybody have a good time, a smile on their face. That's my thanks. That's all I care about.
So as we all know, the Raiders are going to New York this year, and the Silver and Black Empire is hosting a tailgate and some events the weekend that the Raiders go to New York. So why don't you give everybody a little info about the weekend that the Raiders go to New York?
Oh, yeah, well, there is a lot planned for that weekend. I wound up getting about 40 or 50 rooms from the Hotel Edison here in Manhattan. Excuse me. One of our members has a friend who's the general manager there. He did us a favor and gave us these rooms at a really, really good rate. We're right in the middle of Times Square, 47th Street and Times Square, 7th Avenue. A hotel is right in the middle of the crossroads of the world, and for $164 a night at that location, in the middle of getting close to the holiday season, with Thanksgiving being like a few days away, he gave us a great rate for that. We had tickets. Again, I got the tickets through our vendor. The guy that's doing our catering for the tailgate party, we're not handling anything. This guy came to us and said, listen, I'll handle your tailgate. I'll get you guys the tickets, this, that, and the other stuff. We have buses leaving from Dillon's Sunday morning about 7 a.m., leaving here, heading to New Jersey. We have the room, like I said, we got the rooms, we got the tickets. Tailgate party, this gentleman is taking care of everything. He took care of the tickets for the game and the tailgate party. And it's basically, the normal says hot dogs, burgers. Then he's got Italian sausage and peppers. He has chicken. He has steak teriyaki, all the salads that you can handle, beer, water, and soda.
You're not going to walk out of there.
You're not going to walk out of there hungry at all. I mean, if you walk in the stadium, you're going to walk into a price tag of, and this is New York, you're going to walk into a price tag of about $15 a beer inside the stadium. For the price of the $60, you can have yourself 3 or 4 beers plus a couple of friggin', a couple of plates full of food. You're going to go in there full, feeling good. And then if you want to have a beer inside, that's up to you. I mean, but like I said, we're trying to keep everything as minimal as possible. We're not doing anything as far as that goes. Again, the caterer is handling the tickets. He's handling the tailgate. And he's also, at the end of when it's all said and done, he's going to make a generous donation to the Biletnikoff Foundation also.
How does the Raider Nation contact you to get tickets to the games, events, and tailgates?
Well, you can contact us at silverblackempirenyc@gmail.com. You can also visit us at www.silverblackempirenyc.com. That's our official website. You can direct us to the bar. There'll be information about the tailgate party and buses. Right now, I have to say that we are completely sold out of tickets to the Jet game. We have no more tickets to be able to offer you. If you want to get your own tickets, we can offer you transportation to and from. We can get you into our tailgate party, and you are, of course, all of our nations invited to the festivities we have planned at Peter Dillon's that whole weekend. We got people coming in from Friday night, and this place is going to be rocking for the entire weekend. We're going to be dressed up silver and black, ceiling to wall. It's going to be a great weekend. We always enjoy when we get to show off with the family. We like having them in our house. It's always a special time for us. We're looking forward to it.
And they're going to be here for the next 3 years. They're coming here this year to play the Jets. Next year they play the Jets, and then the following year in 2021 they're playing the Giants. So the Raiders will be in New York for 3 consecutive years. We're looking forward to doing this for 3 consecutive years.
I'm looking forward to not doing it the 4th year. Oh, hell yeah. Somebody will take care of us for
So you saying it's a big weekend plan? So do you have any? What event do you have planned for Saturday?
We're going to start off with a kickoff brunch at one of our favorite places, the Triple Crown, right conveniently located by Penn Station, Madison Square Garden. After that, we're probably heading back to Dillon's, and
after that, I am still working on it with a couple of gentlemen right now to have festivities right here by Dillon's. Everything is not finalized yet. We're still working on it. I'm looking to get a bunch of former Raiders down here to do signings, as well as a few other festivities that I have up my sleeve. But like I said, right now we're trying to finalize everything as far as that goes with the city of New York. We have to work with the city of New York and a couple other agencies in order to do exactly what we want done.
I love getting autographs. That would be awesome. You know, I'm an autograph seeker. I have Bo Jackson's autograph. I have multiple Raider autographs. I would love to get some autographs in New York.
All right, we'll give you ours too. Don't worry about
it. All right, cool. Awesome.
We'll make up a gift of a Silver and Black Empire shirt for you.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome. You know, I'll bring you a Silver and Black of Central Texas shirt, and we can swap shirts.
I would love it. Bring you in the bar with us.
That would be awesome. So, how are you guys feeling about the Raiders this year?
I'm feeling very positive about it. I mean, people are not expecting much out of us this year, but if you look at the way they've been practicing and you look at all the reports, they're clicking. The offense looks good now that AB is back in the lineup with the helmet issue hopefully behind us. I'm very excited and I'm very optimistic about our team this year.
You get Jacobs keep running the rock, and open it up for play action. AB gets himself opened up. There's going to be a lot of touchdowns thrown this year, and you know teams are going to be double teaming AB like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So that leaves the other wide receivers to have basically some of them, one of them or two of them might have a career year this year. That kid Gus is like a real deal also.
I think that Carr is actually going to have a career year. Like you said, he's taken a lot of flack, and he's got a couple things working for him this year. Revamped line, new running game, a couple of new receivers to play with, and the fact that he's working with the same coordinator for the second year in a row. Last time he did that was 2016. And Carr is a good quality quarterback that I think is actually very underrated. He's going to have a career year this year if he really wants to stop the chatter about Brady's moving on a quarterback. But I think he's got the tools, both in himself and around him, to actually make that happen.
Now, there's a lot of talk about AB this offseason, but how are y'all feeling about Terrell Williams?
I think Terrell was a fantastic pickup, picking up Terrell Williams, and the fact that, like Carmine just said, AB is going to get double covered a lot, so it's going to leave the passing game open for the other receivers. They're going to benefit just from his presence.
Yeah, it's a pick your poison deal for the opposing defenses.
Right now, what you have a collection of very smart, very talented professional football players that are going to be able to make things happen on that field. I think people are looking at us to finish last in the division again. This is a team that I think realistically is looking at 7, 9, 8, and 8, but they can squeak out 9 and 7. Speaking as a wild card. Carmine is 10 and 6.
So how are you feeling about the return of Gruden? Now, we know he can coach because we remember Gruden from his first time with the Raiders. But after going 4-12 and losing Mac and some of the other players, there's some people that are upset. But, you know, getting the players that we got in the offseason, to me, shows that Gruden knew what he was doing. So how are y'all feeling about the return of Gruden?
You know, I don't think we're ever really going to get over losing a talent like Khalil Mack because he's a generational player. But if you look at the return we got for that, one player does not make a team, and we were able to actually start the rebuilding process of a couple of players by losing Khalil Mack. And while I was saying with Cooper, while I wish we still had those guys back, they weren't the team. And it was addition by subtraction because we were able to add a lot more talent, a lot more depth. And that's how you win this league, with depth. And I wish them both well. And I miss Mac a lot, but I think we're actually better off for losing them.
Seriously, we got 3 first-round picks by losing the 2 of them. Our first-round pick plus the pick from the Cowboys plus the pick from the Bears. The next year we got 2 more. We got our pick and we got the Bears pick, and only God knows what he's going to do as far as that goes. I mean, what do we get? We got some great second-round picks also, and basically for next to nothing. So we couldn't pay the guys anyway. One guy wanted $149 million. Another guy wants $150 million. You're not going to come up with that kind of money. From day one, everybody knew that.
And now the Cowboys are having contract issues with Ezekiel Elliott holding out, Cooper wanting a lot of money, and Dak's going to want a lot of money. Or Dak is asking for a lot of money.
You know, Cooper wants to get paid like a top 5 wide receiver, and I'm sorry, he's not a top 5 wide receiver.
At all.
You know, when a guy who leads the league in drops, that means he's getting his targets, he's getting thrown to, and he's not catching the ball.
Get them crocodile arms.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, he's not worth that kind of money.
Nope. Hell no.
My favorite thing about the Cooper deal is that we got a first for Cooper, and then we traded a 3rd and a 5th for AB, and then made AB a highly paid wide receiver, which in turn, Amari Cooper would look to AB and want to make more than him. So I think that was genius by Gruden.
Cooper wants over $100 million. Dak wants over $100 million. Ezekiel wants over $100 million, and Jerry Jones is a businessman. Not gonna do it. Somebody's got to go out of that equation. I mean, those are your 1, 2, and 3 guys right there. What are you gonna do? Somebody's got to, like Carr. How many times has Carr restructured his contract to help out the Raiders? So a lot of guys used to do the same thing. Even, I don't want to even say these words, but even Tom Brady, he restructures his contract on a constant basis so they can get talent in to help him. I hate saying those 2 words, Tom Brady, but it's the truth. I mean, he's going to be getting his money, granted, on the back end, kind of like that. What's that guy's name? Bobby Bonilla. He'll be getting paid by the Mets until he's 160 every year. Gets $1 million, $1,000. What is it, every July 1st?
Every July 1st.
Yeah, it's Bobby Bonilla Day.
But like Carmine just said, this is a professional business, and they're acting very unprofessionally. And you restrict your contract, you have to do what's good for the team. Because, you know, it's 11 guys, actually a 53-man roster. It's like 53 men with one common goal, and you need to be able to work that way. And you can tell those gentlemen are not doing that.
So with all that being said, I'm going to stick with 10-6. I'm not sure we can take the division because of the way that the Chiefs have been on fire, but I think we can get a wild card, and anything is possible.
Remember who the first team was that won the wild card? Took the wild card and wound up winning the Super Bowl.
That's right. You know, the Chiefs, I mean, if you look at them, as much as I hate the Chiefs, very talented team, very balanced team. That kid does some amazing things being under center, but as with all like 1 to 10 quarterbacks, eventually they get figured out.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to figure out Mahomes.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Defensive coaches will figure him out, and he won't get in those tight windows anymore. He won't be able to duplicate what he did last year. And that's something that Carr had to overcome too. As defenses figured out his strengths and weaknesses, he had to overcome that, and he did. And I think we're poised to win.
I mean, look at all these these quote unquote great quarterbacks that like had these fantastic breakout years, and then next year they got figured out. I mean, take a page out of our book. Terrell Pryor. Everyone thought this guy was going to be the guy. Then, like after a season, like, oh, we figured him out. He's a run first guy, and then he got. Same thing with Kaepernick. Everyone thought Kaepernick at one point in time was a phenomenal quarterback, and he's proven that he wasn't. Once a defensive coordinator, and that's their job, to study and to figures out how to beat Mahomes, will be beatable.
The first thing that the Raiders did, as far as Carr goes, they built an offensive line around that kid now. If you ever watch games from back in the day, when Stabler was the quarterback and he had those 5 gentlemen protecting him, he could stay in the pocket for seconds. He could have a sandwich. That's how long he stayed back there. Okay? Nobody touched the snake. Okay? That's why, three of his offensive linemen and his tight end are in the Hall of Fame now. Nobody touched the snake. Kenny used to stand back there, stand up straight, and you had the ball on his hip. Like, okay,
He wasn't like a cigarette in the pocket.
Yeah, I think, seriously. Yeah, I think one day he had a beer in one hand and the ball in the other. Like, yeah, let me see. Wait a minute. Okay, let me throw it to him. Throw the ball to Casper. That's the way it's got to be. You have to protect Brady. Again, I got to say that name. He gets protected, but now we got the guy that was protecting Brady's blind side, protecting Carr's blind side. Okay, so guess what? You're not going to be as good. We might be a little bit better. We have big, burly offensive linemen to protect Carr and to open up the run. Let's see what happens. Once you get the run established, it is going to light it up.
There's some bullies on the ground this year.
Got to go back to old-time Raider smash mouth football. Run the ball down your throat.
That's exactly what we're gonna do, especially with Jacobs. When he came in and he ran, you saw him be able to run through the tackles or get to the outside, and he was able to make contact and go forward. He had good vision. He knew what to do on the field. He was exactly what we need as a team, exactly what Gruden wants as a running back.
With Jacobs, I am a diehard Bama fan. I've always been a Bama fan for years. Okay, if you watch Bama football, they have the running back by committee. They have 3 or 4 guys that pound the rock. This kid is still basically fresh. Okay, he wasn't in every down, running back. He would do a series. Then another running back would come in and do a series. Then he'd come back in. They would have 2 or 3 running backs doing series apiece to keep everybody fresh. By the 4th quarter, this guy, that's where he would get most of his yards. He would freaking be running through holes. The defensive line was tired, and he run for 30, 40 at a pop. The kid is good. He's got very good vision, and he's still fresh. He's still freaking able to do what he's got to do as a young man.
Coming out of Bama, you play a pro-style offense. So he's NFL ready. Like Carmine said, he's got great vision. He's
Roll Tide.
Very intelligent player. I expect good things out of him.
Yeah, I'm hoping he is that Charlie Garner style runner that Gruden liked, and then, either by the trade deadline or in free agency next year or in the draft, we get that thumper running back like a Tyrone Wheatley or a Zach Crockett.
I'm expecting some really wonderful things out of this running game this year, and especially with the line we built. I think you're going to see a very balanced attack out of the Raiders this year. Very intelligent offensive plan.
So I really appreciate you guys coming on the channel. But before we go, let's just restate our predictions for the Raiders record this year. I'm going with 10-6, and you guys are going with?
I'm going to say 9-7, but you don't. Championships aren't won in the off-season. Championships aren't won in analytics. You actually have to get out and play the game, and you're going to see the Raiders playing the game this year. They're going to be very physical. They're going to surprise a lot of people. They're going to annoy a lot of people. They're very underestimated this year, but this is a quality, talented football team that's going to show a lot of people exactly who we are.
We'll see what happens when somebody goes over the middle and that kid Abrams lays the friggin' lumber through them.
Right.
Be like old smash mouth football.
Or when they're trying to run up the gut and Burfict knocks them out.
Yeah. Like I said, we're building some bullies out there.
All right, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on the channel.
Oh, it was our absolute pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
I look forward to meeting up with you in Oakland and in New York.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're going to have a good old time.
Be a good old time, son. You know what you should do? If I was you, like we tell everybody else, rest your liver the entire month of October because November's going to be like hell.
My liver's a champ.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's cool.
coming on, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great.
Have a good one, Irma.